The Pokemon games have been getting better throughout the years. Well, most of them. But as we all know, everyone makes mistakes, including the Pokemon development team. Yep, just like in the Pokemon anime, there are plenty of mistakes in the Pokemon games as well. From grammar mistakes to things just being plain wrong. I'm just talking about common mistakes in games that anyone could come across while playing. And while a lot of these can just be blamed on poor translation, I think some of them are just the developers being plain dumb. So without further ado, let's take a look at some of the mistakes in Pokemon games. So let's start off with some of the more obvious mistakes you may have noticed while playing some of the older Pokemon games. As I've mentioned before, a lot of the old sprites back then look a bit off, like the Ivysaur sprite from Pokemon Red and Blue for example. In the Pokédex it says that Ivysaur can't stand on its hind legs, and yet it is. Not sure what they were thinking there. A lot of the sprites from the old Pokemon games have minor errors like that, including Pidgey, which just looks like a regular bird, Rattata, whose tail looks white from behind instead of purple, and Metapod, who has these weird crosshair eyes. There's also Clefairy, whose tail is backwards, Poliwhirl, who has a clockwise spiral, and many other small mistakes. But with the game still being new and the hardware limitations back then, this was to be expected. As for actual in-game mistakes, there's one interesting one involving Copycat, the girl who lives in Saffron City. A guy in the Celadon City Pokemart says that he's shopping for a gift for Copycat, who lives in Cerulean City. No? As I said earlier, she lives in Saffron City. Or maybe Copycat just moved cities to get away from this creepy stalker. A few of the Pokédex entries have mistakes as well. In Pokemon Ruby, Mawil's Pokédex entry, believe it or not, actually gets its name wrong. Instead of calling it Mawile, it calls it Mawile or 20 blazes. The Pokédex entry states, Mawil's huge jaws are actually steel horns that have been transformed. Its docile looking face serves to lull its foes into letting down its guard. When the foe least expects it, Mawile chomps it with its gaping jaws. Pokédex! Why are you so dumb? I can't believe a mistake like this was left like that, even though it could have just been a translation error, or simply a typo. Another Pokédex mistake is that it says Ho-Oh has the 7 colors of the rainbow as feathers. By simply looking at Ho-Oh, you can tell that this is untrue. Pokédex, why you lie to me? The Pokédex also states though that Magikarp is able to splash over a mountain. I'm not sure if I even need to explain myself on this one. Magikarp can't even jump over a turd. Not sure if I can even call these mistakes or just dumb descriptions. There are so many odd and untrue Pokédex entries that no one sees, because we all just skip over reading that crap. Pokemon attacks have their own mistakes as well in some of the newer games and old. Lance's Dragonite knows Barrier in all of the Generation 1 games except Pokemon Yellow, although Dragonite cannot normally learn this move. Lance's Aerodactyl knows Rock Slide in the Generation 2 games, although Aerodactyl could not learn this move until Generation 3, so it looks like Lance had been using a Game Shark or something back then, which is only fair as most of us did the same. Don't lie, you know you did. In Pokemon Emerald's Victory Road, Cool Trainer Diane's Lantern also knows Earthquake, even though it can't normally learn this move. In Super Smash Bros., the Goldeen that may emerge from a Pokeball uses Splash, even though Goldeen can't normally learn this move in any game, which is kinda ironic considering it's a fish out of water. In the E3 trailer for Pokemon X and Y, Gardevoir uses Fairy Wind, although oddly enough, Gardevoir cannot learn this move in any of the released versions of the game. Not sure why they would change that, but it's still an interesting mistake. There are several other Pokemon that know moves that they shouldn't know, and Pokemon that even know moves earlier than they're supposed to in the games. Have you guys found any mistakes in any of the Pokemon games? Let me know in a comment. I'll see you guys in the next video.